Welcome again to Royal Points. I'm your host, Kevin Salvadori. Here on Royal Points, we take an inside look at Queens University's athletic programs. Today, we're going to be visiting with the Sports Information Director and also a member from the women's softball team. So please, stay tuned. Welcome back. We are now joined by Fee Turner, the Sports Information Director. Fee, thank you for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a long time since I've seen you. I usually see you at the basketball game.
That's true. Basketball season ended a few months ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. You came on in 2008. You were an Assistant Sports Information Director. Now this year you have taken over the main role, got rid of the assistant. So what exactly does your job entail?
My job entails wearing many hats. So I could be doing anything from game operations, keeping statistics, book, playing music at games, involved with the game atmosphere, and then post-game operations, which involve media-type press conferences, if we were to have that, press releases, getting information out to the media, updating NCAA websites, nominating our student athletes for awards. So there's a wide range of things that we're responsible for in my department, which is currently a department of one.
That was going to be my next question, because you came on as an assistant. How beneficial was it for you to be an assistant for about 4 years?
It was very beneficial. I learned a lot from Sarah Waple, the former director. She actually put me in charge of a lot, which helped me learn a lot while I was doing the job. So it wasn't a very hard transition when I moved into the head director role.
So are you going to be able to get an assistant? Because it sounds like you're doing a ton of stuff.
I'm not sure right now. Right now I'm getting a lot of help from interns and work studies. So we're getting the job done. It would be lovely to have an assistant, but I mean, we do what we have to do to get the job done. So that's all we can focus on right now. Okay,
now you went through a list of things, all the things that you do. What's the hardest for you?
The hardest, I wouldn't say the hardest. I had a hardest thing to do.
Okay.
It's just the job is a huge time commitment. We're working sometimes 7 days a week, sometimes morning into the night, depending on how many events we have. So for instance, this weekend we have the lacrosse tournament, and so that's 3 days, 2 games a day, and post-game work after that final game also. In addition to having our other teams competing away at their conference tournaments, which also need coverage. So it just depends on what's going on. In the summertime, I have a lot of free time, but not a ton, because we are doing a lot of archiving during that time also to get our records up to date. But it's a fun job. It keeps you on your toes. I can't see myself in a regular 9 to 5, so I enjoy it.
Well, that's good. That's good. Now, we're talking about what's your favorite part of it?
My favorite part are the athletic events, the actual events when they happen. I enjoy sports. Me being a former student athlete, I just enjoy watching all sports. My first year, I learned a lot. It was my first time going to a lot of different sports, and I learned a lot. And different sports are just so much different when you're viewing them there than watching them on TV. A lot of things I watch on TV and flip through, but now sitting there at the actual events, I really enjoy watching all of our student athletes play.
Now, you talked about it. You were an athlete here at Queens University. You graduated in 2007, top 10 scoring list, I think, still for women's basketball. So
yeah, I'm hanging in there.
Pretty good. It's a pretty impressive accomplishment. But we've talked to a lot of people that throughout this season that were students here that ended up staying on. What kept you here? What was it that kept you here at Queens University?
I just love Queens, the university as a whole. I kind of feel like I grew up here, and when the opportunity presented itself for me to be able to step into a role and continue working after graduation, I jumped at it, and I'm really glad I did, just because I love the university and everything it gave to me while I was a student athlete.
Of course. So and you were able to still kind of get the campus feel and the college feel. Now, you kind of came on board in a tough time, because as you come on board, Ovens is getting torn down.
Correct.
So that had to throw a lot of wrenches into the system that was already in place. How difficult was it to overcome to make sure that the basketball and the volleyball and all the other sports that go through there, how difficult was it to get all that organized?
It was definitely a bittersweet moment to see the oven go, just because I played in the oven and it's such a historic place. But it's definitely some growth that we were ready to embark upon.
Of course.
And just the whole department got together and we all pitched in to make sure scheduling went smoothly so that we got everything scheduled, all the games scheduled at Grady Cole, which is where we had our basketball season. And Nicole Heasley helped out a ton with that. Everybody pitched in, getting everybody scheduled to work on time so that it wasn't such a difficult transition getting over there. We had been playing at Grady Cole for the past couple of years for certain events such as homecoming, so we were kind of used to being over there, not for an entire season, but it was kind of a second home already. So we spruced it up and made it feel like Queens as much as we can. So
you guys did a nice job. That's what I was wondering how you found Grady Cole, but it was something that you'd already had contact with in the past. So, but I thought you guys did a fantastic job. You were shuttling kids over, the students over as well?
Yes, we ran shuttles during the events to help get the fans over, and of course the shuttles brought the student athletes over and everything. So it worked out pretty well.
Now, are you in charge of trying to get the students also to come to the events? Is that like part of the marketing? Is that yours, or is that a different department?
That's more the marketing side.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the stuff I do overlaps into marketing. I mean, I do a lot of the Twitter and the Facebook posts to get the information out there for the students to know what's going on so that they do come. But a lot of the signs and posters you see across campus are more from our Sports Marketing Association and things like that.
Now, just going back to the basketball, and I do the basketball games and the conference tournament game. You couldn't play at Grady Cole. Obviously, you couldn't play at Ovens. How did you find a new venue to play at? How was that? Looks like that was pretty fun.
That was more so Nicole Heasley finding where we played for that game. It was definitely a challenge because we had to, once again, find banners and pop-ups to make it feel like Queens. We tried our best to cover the gym with Queens paraphernalia, so it felt as much like a home game as we could make it. But that was once again a challenge of Nicole's to handle, and you know, she did a great job helping to locate facilities for us to play in, and we got over there and got set up and got the game going. So
and it was a nice setup. I was very impressed with how smooth things seemed to be going, at least from the outside. So I think you guys did a fantastic job. Now, you graduated in 2007. I think you got an MBA in 2010.
Yes.
So you're doing all this work.
Yes.
And you're getting your MBA at the same time.
Correct.
Fun time.
It was a blast.
Now, and your major again was?
Business administration.
Business administration. How has business administration and your MBA been able to help you in this position?
A lot of problem solving and things of that nature. When things pop up, you got to figure out right there on the spot. A lot of times before games, we have so many things happen, and we have to think on our toes and be quick and delegate and get things done. So I definitely think that my degrees in the MBA program helped me with thinking quick and figuring out different avenues to get things done. So
now, are there any more degrees coming in the future?
Not degrees, no.
Okay, you said that kind of. What are you doing?
Well, I just finished up the CFP program.
What is that?
Certified Financial Planners.
Okay.
So I do plan on getting my CFP designation, and that'll just be a side career for me.
Okay.
Because I definitely.
You don't have enough to do already, is that what you're saying?
I mean, it's one would think, but I like to keep busy and just to find something on the side to do. I definitely plan on staying in college athletics and staying on here at Queens. So
now you've been able to move up relatively quickly as a director of sports information. Where would you like to go? Is there anywhere else that you kind of have your eye on that would be a lot of fun to do?
Maybe somewhere along the line, down the line, an assistant AD or AD role further down the line, but nothing quick.
Nothing. Not ready for that yet?
Not yet.
That's pretty involved from what I've seen again.
Correct.
On the outside.
That's a huge time commitment.
Now we talked a little bit about it. You played basketball from 2003 to 2007. Had a very good career. Came from Greensboro, so not too far away. What was it that attracted you to Queens University?
Well, my sister played here from '93 to '97,
Okay.
so I was already familiar with the school. Growing up and coming to visit her, and when it was time for me to graduate and I was going through the recruiting process, I actually got recruited by our athletic director, Jeannie King.
Okay.
And so she actually recruited me to come down here, and I kind of fell in love with the university when I came to visit. So I just decided to come here and follow along in my sister's footsteps.
Now, obviously, something you don't regret because you're still here.
Correct.
They can't get rid of you.
Right.
But some of your favorite memories when you were just playing basketball here at school.
My favorite memories probably involve just my teammates and the camaraderie that we had. We were a really tight bunch all 4 years, even the ones that were seniors when I was a freshman. I still kind of talk to them every now and then. So we all keep in touch. We're very tight. I see a lot of them throughout the year, over the weekends. We visit each other. So I think those are my most memorable times, the relationships I built in the 4 years I was here with those people.
And that's something you can't ever take away once you're very fortunate to have teammates like that. Real quick, I got to talk. I'm a Carolina guy. I got to talk about it. I didn't know about this going in, but PJ Hairston is your cousin.
He's my nephew.
Excuse me, your nephew.
He's my oldest nephew.
So we got basketball just going all over the family. You got your sister and yourself and your nephew. Do you talk to him much? Do you see him much?
Actually, I just saw him Easter weekend, and I do talk to him. I try not to talk to him too much during the season to give him my 2 cents, and because I know how I felt when people were giving me their 2 cents when I played.
It comes from everywhere.
Right. And so usually when I talk to him, I just talk to him about how he's doing in school and things like that and how he likes it. I don't talk too much about basketball with him. So there's probably not much I could tell him. He's the one playing at Carolina, so.
He's an impressive player. He's an impressive guy. I was lucky to coach him for a summer back before he came into a freshman in high school, so that was a while ago.
Yeah.
But basketball obviously runs in the family very well. You've done a great job from what I've seen in our dealings with the men's basketball. Good luck with everything in the future.
Thank you.
And look forward to seeing you next year as an AD, right?
Not that quick.
No, thank you very much for joining us, and I'll be seeing you next year with basketball.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, and we will be right back with women's softball.
Being a student athlete here at Queens has really changed my life and opened a lot of doors for me. Growing up, playing tennis was a very individual sport, and here I've really gotten a chance to see what it's like to play as a team and win as a team and lose as a team. We've been through the good times and the bad times, and they've always been here to support me. And not only have I gotten a chance to make a lot of new friends, but I've also gotten a chance to get a great education. Queens is an awesome school. I'm glad I got recruited here. The coaching staff is amazing. The teachers, they work with you. Overall, I've just gotten a really good education, and I've made some great friends.
And welcome back again. We're now joined by Chantal Dodge, a women's softball pitcher, having a fantastic year. So thank you very much for joining us. And just really, I got to get all these stats down because I got a lot of. You got conference pitcher of the week last week.
Yes.
26 innings pitched, 8 hits, 30 strikeouts, and won all 4 starts. How were you able to be so dominant just this past week?
We just we've kept doing the same thing we've done all year, really. It's just, I was successful this week just because, I guess just hitting my spots and just working with the coach, throwing the pitches she called. Mm-hmm.
Now, as a pitcher, how do you define, what type of pitcher? Are you an overpowering pitcher? Do you have some curves? What kind of pitching style do you have?
I'm definitely not overpowering. I'm not much of a strikeout pitcher, even though I got quite a few this week. I mostly am what most people would describe as a junk pitcher. So I throw a lot of moving pitches, and I tend to get people to fly out or ground out by making them hit my pitches, the pitch I want them to.
Now, you say you're a junk pitcher. What's your best pitch?
Definitely screwball.
Screwball.
But I also have a really nasty rise ball that tends to get a lot of people.
Now, how do you get that? I mean, I watch a lot of baseball, and you can see how they get the motion on the ball. But with the softball pitch, how difficult is it for you to get that movement on the ball, or is it something you just get so good at?
It's actually really natural for softball pitchers to throw a lot of those pitches. Like whereas baseball, it's a little more difficult, and they can't. And they go down mostly, so they don't really. They can go curve or change up, but we're able to throw up, down, in, out.
So your mechanics make it better to be able to play with the ball more so than the baseball. That's interesting. It's something I've never really thought about till right now. As a team, you're 28 and 22. You're 16 and 5 in conference, so you've done well in conference. And we've seen that with we've had a lot of different teams here for the season of the show where they've been okay out of conference and done very, very well in conference. Why do you assess that you've been so dominant in conference and just a little bit above 500 and out of conference?
It has a lot to do with the teams in the region. They are really strong. I hate to say it, our conference is one of the weaker conferences for softball. I don't know about for other sports. So we play well against the teams out of region. We just don't end up pulling out wins a lot of times.
Okay.
So we went into extra innings with a lot of teams in the region.
So that's good that you're able to push them as far as you did. What were you able to learn when you're playing against a tougher competition like that? What were you able to take away from those games?
Well, it definitely just makes you step up a little bit more. You learn how to deal with more pressure situations because they're better hitters, and our defense had to step up and make plays, and that's why we did so much better in conference because they learned what they needed to do. Of
course. Now your conference tournament's coming up, correct?
Yeah, we're leaving today.
Right after this.
Yes.
What are your expectations going into conference? What seed where were you seeded in the conference tournament?
We're third right now going
in.
Okay. Yeah, we're behind North Greenville and Mount Olive, but by just one loss. So it was real close. All three of us were really close.
What is let's first talk about your personal goals going into conference. Are you pitching? Are you going to be the starting pitcher?
I'll probably pitch majority of the games.
Okay.
We have a freshman girl that'll come in if we need her to, but I'll throw most of it.
So you'll throw them over. Then what are your personal goals going into this for yourself?
I just want to win. We went to regionals the first 2 years. I'd like to go out the same exact way as I came in.
That's fantastic. So you went to regional the first 2 years last year. You did not go to regional.
We struggled last year.
Okay. But this year you think you have a pretty good chance to make some noise in conference. Now you're third. Have you played the top two teams in the conference?
Yes.
And how did you do against them?
Well, we split with them in our series with each of them.
Okay.
But the Mount Olive, I think the game we lost to them is 1-0. They got a walk-off home run. So, and then North Greenville, we beat them our first game. It was a close game, but we ended up pulling it out.
Okay.
And yeah.
So going into those games, if you end up matching up against either one of those teams or both of those teams, what do you do different? I know they're very close games, but as in all sports, it just takes a couple things here and there to make a difference. What do you see where you guys will improve on to hopefully get a victory?
Well, in both those games, it was our hitting that let us down.
Okay.
Or in the games that we lost, it was our hitting that let us down. So long as we can play defense and continue the same way we did in the games with defense and pitching, then we just need to hit more. And I think the games will go our way.
Okay.
So
and we talked about, you got Conference Pitcher of the Week. You also got female Senior Athlete of the Year here at Queens University. So again, congratulations. That's a big honor. Was it something that kind of surprised you when you were given that?
Definitely. I mean, I don't know, I guess I was definitely surprised about it. There's many female athletes that could have easily gotten the award also. So
you're very modest, so it's pretty impressive. But I mean, we talked about it. I mean, over the season, I don't know why you only got Conference Pitcher of the Week 1 week, because, again, I got to go over these stats. You have 20 wins out of the 28 wins on the team, 139 strikeouts, so that goes away. You say you're a junk pitcher. That's 139 strikeouts. It's pretty impressive, and you have an ERA of 1.44. Had a pretty darn good year. Is this something, when you came here to Queens 4 years ago, did you think that you could have this type of success?
Not really, because I didn't really think I would be as dominant as I have been in in college softball, but because I came from a really hard district back home in Florida, so I was a good pitcher, but I wasn't the best in the area, so I didn't expect to do as well as I have.
Now you talk about you weren't the best. Do you follow any of the other players that came from your area?
I do. Neither of them actually finished college.
High school,
softball.
It's amazing because people put so much emphasis on high school and what you can do there, but it's what you do after you get into college. Now, typical day, I know for you to be as successful as you have been here, how much work does it take for you to, every day, how much work do you put into your softball and your pitching?
Well, I'm actually really fortunate that I don't have to put as much. I've actually been fighting an injury, so I have taken it a lot easier.
Well, it's smart when you have something that you're fighting against like that. What did you injure?
Well, it's my shoulder. We don't really know what's wrong with it.
Your pitching shoulder?
Yes.
And you don't even know, you still don't know what's wrong with it?
No, it's just all the muscles are.
And it's been going on all year?
It started last year.
And you're being able to put these numbers up on a bad shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty darn impressive. Now, you came from Florida. You say you weren't the best pitcher in your area, but what brought you to Queens? What was it that intrigued you about Queens?
Well, I can definitely say whenever I was asked to come up here on a recruiting trip, and my dad and I drove up, and it was probably around 11 o'clock at night, and we were on 77, and we saw the city, and it was lit up, and it was gorgeous. And I come from a little beach town, so I saw all these big buildings and all these lights, and I thought it was awesome. And the next day I saw Queens campus in the middle of October, and I told my dad, I was like, I'm coming here. Because there were seasons, all 4 seasons. The trees were turning colors.
That's right, yes. You don't get that down in Florida,
No.
so obviously you don't mind the winters up here?
They were a shock. I had to go out and buy a new coat. I can say that. I didn't have anything quite warm enough. But
something you enjoy, obviously. You've been here for 4 years. You've also been all-conference academic team this year. How hard has it been for you to balance not only the softball but the academics?
It hasn't been too difficult until this semester, but
till this semester.
But
why this semester?
It's just everything is. I feel like we've had a lot more games at the end of the season this year versus years past, and it's just kind of all caught up.
Now you're a political science psych major.
Philosophy.
Philosophy. I thought they had psych on. What are you planning on doing?
I don't know yet.
Not sure yet?
No, I haven't decided yet.
Are you looking forward to getting out and about and seeing what the next step is, or are you
I am.
a little bit of trepidation as well?
I'm a little nervous about it. I'm not, because I don't really know what I'm going to do, but I come from an Air Force background, and I wouldn't mind. I've thought about joining and doing something like that.
Well, that'd be amazing if you could do something like that. But any plans on trying to stay within softball itself, whether even just playing, coaching, anything, or is it
probably not?
Just ready to move on?
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of got burned out a little bit, you think? But I mean, you've had a fantastic year so far. So you're not sure exactly what you're going to be doing after Queens. What are you going to miss probably most once you leave here? What do you think is going to be the hardest thing to let go?
Just all my teammates. Like every year we have, this year we had 8 new girls.
Okay.
So there was more new incoming freshmen than there was returning players. So you just make such great friends, and I've probably some of my best friends I've met through softball here. So.
People you'll keep in contact with, obviously. Now you talk about 8 freshmen coming in. Is that the biggest class that came in since you've been here?
I think we've had 8 almost the last 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the challenge dealing with that? Because there's obviously a lot of changeover with that. What's the biggest challenge of having 8 new freshmen come in?
Keeping them all here. They
really?
all, we started with 8 3 years ago, and then I think only 2 of those are still here.
Really?
And then last year, we only have 3 from last year.
Now, are they quitting softball, or they just decided
A lot of them are leaving softball.
Really? They didn't like?
I don't know that it had anything to do about not liking. They just weren't able to hang with the schoolwork and doing sports and everything else like that.
It is very difficult, as you can attest to. You've done it for 4 years, but something I think if you deal with it and put up with it, something that can be very rewarding as well, because you're like you said, you're walking away with really good friends that you've played with, and hopefully some good memories as well from playing softball. But you know, I really appreciate you coming by. I really wish you the best of luck here in the conference tournament coming up, and hopefully you'll be able to continue your dominance as well. So thank you very much. And hopefully, now the conference tournament, real quick, is it in Atlanta, or where is it again?
It's in Hartsville, South Carolina.
South Carolina. I knew it was south from here. I wasn't sure. You don't seem very thrilled about.
There's not much in Hartsville, South Carolina.
Well, that way you can stay focused.
This is true.
That way you can stay focused on the game. You're not going to be going out partying and doing everything else.
Of course not.
Good luck down there. I think you guys will do fantastic, and hopefully you can come back and work forward in the NCAA tournament and maybe get the regionals. So thank you again for joining us, and thank you for joining us here this season, and hopefully you've enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll see you here again next year on Royal Points. There's many things when I was a student athlete in North Carolina that was very important to me. Obviously, you want to be able to compete at the top level that you can, and that's what I was very fortunate to go to North Carolina and compete there. But you also want to be successful. You want to be able to win. You know, you have a great tradition at your university that I played at, and you wanted to follow that tradition. But not only just by being a good athlete, not only by being successful on the court, but you want to represent your school in the best way possible. And that's on the court, that's off the court. You don't want to go out there and do anything stupid to embarrass yourself, embarrass the team, embarrass the coaching staff. But also off the court, you wanted to be the best student that you could be. And that was very difficult at times because of juggling so much with the basketball, the travel, the academics. That was something that was never skirted at North Carolina, that you wanted to be able to be proud. When I walked away from North Carolina, and I was fortunate to be there for 5 years, I was a redshirt freshman. I was very fortunate. When I walked away, I was very proud of what I did, not only by winning, but by graduating and by representing myself, by representing the school and the coaches that had the faith in me to be able to do those things. And also, on top of that, I felt like I represented my family, especially my parents, very, very well with what I did. And those were the things that were very important to me. I was very proud of what I did, both on and off the court, and I was very fortunate to have a lot of great relationships that I was able to build while I was in school, whether it was with my teammates, with my coaches, with my teachers, and also just with the students as well.